Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans, sport enthusiasts, and everyone tuning in from all across the globe. Grab a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you are paying very close attention, because we have some absolutely electrifying breaking news that is sending massive shockwaves throughout the international tennis community today. You read the title of this video. You saw the thumbnail, and I am here right now to tell you that it is officially confirmed, signed, sealed, and delivered. The pride of Philippine tennis, the young, dynamic, and ever-evolving superstar Alexandra Eala, is officially locked in and universally recognized as the number 2 seed at the highly prestigious upcoming Lexus Birmingham Open. This incredibly pivotal tournament is set to kick off this coming Monday, and the excitement, the anticipation, the sheer buzz surrounding this event is reaching an absolute fever pitch. We're talking about a major milestone here. Folks, to truly understand the gravity of this moment, we need to take a step back and look at the broader picture of the Women's Tennis Association Tour, the grueling nature of the professional tennis calendar, and exactly what it means to be seated second in a tournament of this extraordinary caliber. The grass court season is officially upon us. It is the shortest, yet arguably the most intensely scrutinized, physically demanding, and deeply historic swing in the entire tennis year. And right at the heart of this frantic, high-stakes transition from the crushed red brick of the clay courts to the lush, pristine, and lightning-fast lawns of the United Kingdom stands Alex Eala, ready to make an indelible mark on the sport. Being named the number 2 seed is not just a number next to her name on a draw sheet. It is a massive statement of intent. It is a reflection of her soaring ranking, which has seen her break into the upper echelons of the world's elite, hovering comfortably inside the top 50, and it is a testament to the incredible hard work, the relentless grind, and the sheer dedication she has poured into her craft over the past 12 months. When you are the number 2 seed, you are no longer the underdog. You are no longer the rising junior trying to pull off an upset. You are the target. You are the player that everyone else in the locker room is looking at, the player that the lower-ranked competitors are desperate to take down to make a name for themselves. It brings an entirely new level of psychological pressure, a unique kind of weight on your shoulders, and how Alex handles this status starting on Monday will tell us a phenomenal amount about her championship mentality. Let us contextualize this moment by looking at where Alex is coming from right now. The tennis season is a brutal, unforgiving narrative of peaks and valleys. Just recently, we watched the conclusion of her clay court campaign, a swing that culminated in the grandest clay spectacle of them all, the French Open at Roland Garros. By her own incredibly high standards, that clay season was a rocky road. We saw her face early exits. We saw her battle through the mud and the dirt, and we all witnessed that tough, heartbreaking first-round defeat to her friend and rising American teenage sensation, Ivanovic, in straight sets 4-6, 2-6. We also saw her make the difficult but strategic decision to withdraw from the doubles draw alongside her partner Victoria Mboko. In the immediate aftermath of that Parisian exit, there were questions. How would she respond? Would her confidence take a hit? But if there is one thing we have learned about Alex Eala since she burst onto the scene, it is that her resilience is absolutely off the charts. Following that loss, she stood in front of the press and delivered a masterclass of maturity. She explicitly stated how proud she is of her journey, how unwavering her self-belief remains, and how confident she is in her game, even through the sting of defeat. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the mindset of a future Grand Slam champion. You do not dwell on the dirt. You wash it off, you pack your bags, and you set your sights on the grass. And what a place to begin this green redemption arc. The Lexus Birmingham Open is not just any tournament. Held at the historic Edgbaston Priory Club, this venue breathes tennis history. This tournament has been a cornerstone of the women's tour since 1982. If you look at the roll call of past champions here, it reads like a Hall of Fame induction list. We are talking about legends like Maria Sharapova, Petra Kvitova, Angelique Kerber, and Ashley Barty. These are players who used the lawns of Birmingham as a springboard to capture the ultimate prize at Wimbledon just weeks later. While the tournament is currently classified as a WTA 125 event, the prestige, the aura, and the quality of the field remain incredibly high. For Alex to enter the gates of the Edgbaston Priory Club this week, not just as a competitor, but as the second highest ranked player in the entire field, is a monumental leap forward in her young career. It signals to the world that she has arrived, And she is here to conquer a surface that has historically rewarded the most technically gifted and tactically astute players in the history of the sport. The grass court transition is famously the most difficult adjustment a tennis player has to make all year. You go from the high, heavy, looping bounces of European clay. We have all the time in the world to set up your ground strokes and slide into your shots to a surface that is slick, fast, and incredibly unpredictable. On grass, the ball skids. It stays horrifyingly low to the ground. The rallies are violently short. Your reaction time is cut in half. If your footwork is even a fraction of a second slow, you are going to be completely out of position. This is why Monday is so crucial. Alex is going to step onto that court carrying the immense expectations of an entire nation back in the Philippines, an entire legion of fans who follow her every move, and she has to immediately adapt her muscle memory to a completely different style of tennis. She has to bend her knees deeper. She has to shorten her backswings, and she has to be ruthlessly aggressive. The number 2 seed cannot afford a slow start. She cannot afford to ease her way into the match. She has to come out firing on all cylinders from the very first coin toss. This brings us perfectly into our deep dive analysis of this upcoming tournament, her specific matchup, and the profound implications of her current tactical game plan. Let us truly break down what Eala needs to do to survive and advance on the lawns of Birmingham, and why her specific skill set might just make her a terrifying proposition on this surface. First and foremost, we have to talk about her left-handed advantage. In the history of tennis, left-handed players have often possessed a distinct, almost magical advantage on grass courts. Think of Martina Navratilova. Think of John McEnroe. Think of Rafael Nadal in his prime grass years. The left-handed slice serve out wide on the ad court, pulling the right-handed opponent completely off a single sideline, is one of the most lethal weapons in the sport. On clay, a player might have time to run that wide serve down. On grass, that skidding serve is virtually a guaranteed ace or a weak, floating return that Alex can easily step in and crush for a clean winner. Eala's serve has been steadily improving. She has been adding miles per hour, but more importantly, she has been adding disguise and placement. If she can consistently locate that sliding lefty serve out wide, she's going to hold her service games with breathtaking speed, conserving her energy and putting immense scoreboard pressure on her opponents. But it is not just a serve. It is a return of serve that dictates success on grass. Because the ball shoots off the turf so quickly, you do not have time for massive, loopy takebacks on the return. You have to have elite hand-eye coordination. You have to block the ball back, use the server's pace against them, and punch the return deep into the court. Eala has some of the cleanest ball striking abilities of anyone in her generation. When she is locked in, her timing is absolutely impeccable. She hits a very flat, penetrating ball, especially off her backhand wing. On clay, a flat ball can sometimes sit up and be counterattacked. But on grass, a flat, hard-hit backhand is a nightmare to defend against. It stays inches above the blades of grass, skidding through the court and forcing the opponent to hit up, which usually results in an error. If Eala can trust her flat ground strokes and refrain from trying to put too much topspin on the ball, she is going to hit right through the defenses of anyone on the other side of the net. Now, let us look at the immediate hurdles standing in her way this Monday. The draw has been released and the first round matchup is set. Eala will be kicking off her grass court campaign against a very familiar foe, the veteran Australian. Priscilla Honourable, currently ranked just outside the top 140 in the world. Han is an incredibly dangerous first-round opponent, especially on grass. She is an Australian, which means she grew up playing on faster surfaces. She understands the nuances of the turf. She knows how to serve and volley, and she has a wealth of experience on the professional tour. This is not a guaranteed walk in the park for our number 2 seed. This is a potential banana skin. Eala and Han have crossed paths before, and Eala knows exactly what she is up against. Priscilla Han will look to disrupt Alex's rhythm. She will use slice. She will try to bring Alex forward to the net, and she will try to expose any lingering doubts from the clay season. For Alex, the game plan has to be absolute, unyielding aggression. She cannot let Han dictate the terms of engagement. Eala needs to use her heavy forehand to push Han behind the baseline, and she must be willing to transition forward and finish points at the net. Grass court tennis rewards a brave. It rewards a player who takes a ball on the rise and takes time away from the opponent. Beyond Priscilla Hahn, the field at the Lexus Birmingham Open is packed with fascinating storylines and dangerous floaters. While Alex is a number 2 seed, she is sharing the spotlight with another brilliant Southeast Asian talent, Janice Jen of Indonesia, who is also highly seeded in this event. The rise of Southeast Asian women in the upper tiers of professional tennis is a beautiful, inspiring narrative, and seeing both Eala and Chen leading the charge at a historic British tournament is a monumental moment for the region. But they are not alone. Lurking in the draw are players like the incredibly crafty German Tatjana Maria. Now, if you follow tennis closely, you know that Tatjana Maria on a grass court is an absolute magician. She reached the semifinals of Wimbledon just a few years ago using an arsenal of slices, drop shots, and looping defensive wizardry that completely paralyzes power hitters. If Alex Eala ends up facing someone like Tatjana Maria deep in this tournament, it will be the ultimate chess match. It will test her patience, her shot selection, and her physical endurance to constantly bend down and dig out those razor-thin slice shots. Then you have players like Lulu Sun and Talia Gibson, hungry competitors looking to grab valuable ranking points and build their own momentum ahead of the Wimbledon qualifiers. This tournament is not just about the prize money or the trophy. For Alex Eala, this week in Birmingham is a critical first chapter of a meticulously planned grass court masterclass. Her schedule over the next month is absolutely grueling, but it is designed to peak at the perfect moment, after her mission in Birmingham is complete. She is slated to compete in the highly competitive Ilkley Open or potentially the HSBC Championships in London. But the most eye-catching part of her schedule comes the following week, where she is awarded a highly coveted main draw wild card into the WTA 500 Bad Homburg Open in Germany. Think about that for a second. Alex Eala, stepping onto the pristine German grass alongside absolute titans of the sport. The field there includes former world number 1 and 7-time Grand Slam champion Venus Williams. It includes elite top 20 mainstays like Karolina Machova, Mira Andreeva, and Leylah Fernandez. Eala has put herself right in the lion's den, directly testing her mettle against the absolute best the sport has to offer. But all of these tournaments, Birmingham, Ilkley, Bad Homburg, they are all serving one singular, monumental purpose. They are the dress rehearsals for the grandest stage in all of tennis, the championships, Wimbledon. Starting on June 29th, the hallowed grounds of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club will open their gates, and Alex Eala has made it abundantly clear in the past that Wimbledon holds a very special place in her heart. It is her favorite Grand Slam. It is the pinnacle of the sport's tradition, elegance, and history. Every single swing of the racket she takes this Monday against Priscilla Hahn, every baseline sprint, every tactical adjustment she makes in Birmingham is fundamentally about preparing her mind and her body for the immaculate lawns of SW19. A deep run here in Birmingham as a number 2 seed would inject her with a tidal wave of confidence. It would signal to the entire locker room that Alex Eala is not just a clay court grinder or a hard court specialist, but an all-surface threat capable of dismantling opponents on the fastest surface in the world. To achieve this, she is going to have to master the mental warfare of grass court tennis. Grass is a surface that tests your emotional stability just as much as your physical technique. Bad bounces are inevitable. You can hit the perfect approach shot, and the ball can simply hit a divot and roll under your racket. You can play a flawless return game, and your opponent can suddenly hit 4 unreturnable aces on the lines. You cannot let the surface frustrate you. You have to maintain an aura of absolute zen. When we look at the great grass court champions, from Federer to Sampras to Serena Williams, they all possess the ability to completely forget the previous point. If Eala gets broken, she has to brush it off instantly. If she misses an easy volley because the ball skidded, she has to smile, reset, and focus entirely on the next serve. This is where her incredible maturity, which she displayed so eloquently after the French Open, is going to be her biggest asset. At just 21 years of age, she carries herself with the poise of a 10-year tour veteran. She has been in the international spotlight since she was a young teenager winning junior Grand Slams. So the pressure of being a number 2 seed is not going to blind her. She is built for this pressure. She thrives in it. Let us also talk about the physical conditioning required for this specific week. Grass courts are notoriously slippery, especially in the early days of tournament before the baseline gets worn down to the dirt. We have seen horrific injuries happen when players slip and extend their joints unnaturally. Alex's footwork has to be incredibly precise. She needs to utilize small, choppy adjustment steps rather than the long, sliding lunges she used in Paris. Her core strength is going to be tested every single time she hits the ball because she will constantly be hitting from a crouched, low center of gravity position. This requires massive strength in the quadriceps, the glutes, and the lower back. Her entire training block over the last few days would have been entirely dedicated to this biomechanical shift. The transition is brutal, but Eala has a phenomenal athletic foundation. As we look toward the culmination of this highly anticipated event, it is impossible to overstate just how significant this moment is. The news that Eala is officially the number 2 seed at the Lexus Birmingham Open starting this Monday is a clarion call to the tennis world. It is a moment of immense pride for the Philippines, a country that has rallied behind her every single forehand and backhand over the years. We are witnessing the real-time evolution of a generational talent. She is no longer just a prospect with high potential. She is a seated favorite at a major professional event, tasked with the responsibility of living up to her ranking on the most challenging surface in the sport. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive into Monday's massive kickoff, I want to reiterate exactly what is at stake. When Alex steps onto manicured lawns of the Edgbaston Priory Club against Priscilla Hahn, she is not just playing for the prize money or the WTA ranking points. Although those are certainly vital for her continued climb up the ladder, she is playing to establish her territory. She is playing to send a message. A dominant victory in the first round will serve notice to the rest of the draw that the number 2 seed has arrived with bad intentions, fully acclimatized to grass, and ready to make a run at the championship trophy. Conversely, a tough, grinding 3-set battle will test her problem-solving skills and force her to dig deep into her mental reserves right out of the gate. Whatever happens, the tennis world will be watching closely. The Philippine flag will be flying high, and the expectations will be absolutely electric. This grass court season could be the defining chapter of her year. If she can string together consecutive wins here in Birmingham, carry that momentum into prestigious events in Germany and London, and arrive at Wimbledon with a head full of steam and a racket dialed into a specific frequency of grass court tennis, there is absolutely no limit to what she can achieve. The weapons are there. The lefty serve is a massive asset. The flat, penetrating ground strokes are tailor-made for the turf. The only question now is execution. Can she put it all together when the umpire calls play on Monday? Can she navigate the pressure of the seeding, the unpredictable bounces of the grass, and the tricky first-round test against a seasoned veteran? I, for one, would not bet against her. Her track record of bouncing back from adversity is too strong. Her natural talent is too immense, and her competitive fire burns way too bright. Thank you so much for joining me for this incredibly detailed, comprehensive breakdown of this massive breaking news. The excitement is truly off the charts for the Lexus Birmingham Open, and I know that every single one of you watching is going to be glued to your screens, cheering on Eala as she embarks on this thrilling new chapter of the season. I want to hear from every single one of you down in the comments section below. What are your predictions for Monday's match against Priscilla Hahn? How far do you think the number 2 seed can go in this tournament? Do you think her game translates better to grass than to clay? Drop your analysis, your scores, and your unwavering support for Alex down in the comments right now. Make sure you smash that like button to show your support for Philippine tennis. And if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update, a match breakdown, or a deep dive into the world of professional tennis. We are going to be following Alex's entire grass court campaign every single step of the way, right up to the manicured lawns of Wimbledon. Until then, keep watching the courts, stay passionate about the sport, and get ready for some world-class grass court tennis this Monday. I will see you all in the next video.